Tonight's guest,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
Kara. She's a sculptor. And also you do have various other things as well because I noticed you play guitar. And
Mm.
also you can paint.
Digital
Or
art.
no? Oh, digital art.
Painting's
Okay.
very hard for me. Digital art, yeah.
Um, yeah, we saw an example of her painting on a sculpture she made yesterday. Do you remember showing it to us?
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, it's
Which I'm
so
not speak of.
bad.
No, it's all right.
Oh,
It's
it's
all
so
right.
ugly.
So did you end up did you go to school here in Australia, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. I mainly in Brisbane, but I've lived all over
Yeah.
Australia.
When did you get into sculpting? Or
I was
what did
probably
you start
like
with?
I was probably like 21 and I
Yeah.
started with special effects makeup.
Okay, yep.
So the way that works is that you do like a face cast of yourself,
Yeah.
and then so that would be the positive, and then you sculpt on top of it with clay
Oh,
and like
so
the prosthetics that you want, like a zombie
okay.
cheek or something, for example.
Oh, those are clay?
No, that's how you make it first.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you sculpt onto onto the cast, and then you make a negative with like plaster or polyurethane if you're rich. And
Yeah.
then with the positive and the negative, you fill it with silicon.
Okay.
And then you pull like peel the silicon out of the negative mold, and then it's like perfectly shaped to your face, and you can glue it
Okay.
on and everything.
Oh,
So that's how I started sculpting. I would sculpt like wounds and stuff
yeah.
for special
Did you have to
effects.
go to school for that
No,
or no? So you
I
learn
just
yourself.
watched, yeah, YouTube videos.
Well, I learned lots of stuff watching YouTube videos as well.
Yeah.
Because like anything to do with cars and stuff. Because
Hmm.
what happened with
Yeah.
my car was that like it needed like what is it? The spark plugs and the oil. Oh, no, not the oil. The coil packs. I don't even
Hmm.
know what that is. Um, and then I took it to like my friend's mechanic, whatever. He charged me like $1,100 to get it replaced. I was like, okay, whatever. Got it done and stuff.
Yeah.
Took it home. Still the same problem. I was like, what? And then like I checked it up myself. I was like, wow, he didn't change it. So that's when like I was like, you know what? I can't trust anyone when it comes to
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah. I had a
Um,
car that would overheat constantly, so I know a lot about coolant.
really?
Yeah.
uh, okay. At what age did you um actually no, sorry. Did you go to uni at all? Did you
I'm
start uni?
studying now. I'm a bit
Yeah.
of a late bloomer, but I'm studying
Okay.
now.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
So, what are you studying?
I'm doing graphic design. I hate it. And then,
Why?
oh, it's so fucking gay. It's so bad. Oh my God, it's like the worst thing. But like I'm a year into it, so I may as well finish it. But
Um,
then in January, I'm gonna be doing an advanced diploma in art as well on top of it.
oh, on top of that,
Mm,
do you
yeah.
use? Because I think we spoke earlier. Do you use like computer to go to do your course or
Yeah, I'm all online.
yeah?
I knew if I had
Is
to
that
go
hard?
to like an actual university, I would not go. Like if I had to keep leaving my house to go somewhere, it wasn't gonna work out. I hate it. But yeah, so it's online. So Torrens and the University of New England, just online classes.
Okay.
Mm.
Is it? Do you still have to get like a hex
Yeah.
fees? I'm not hex like hex. What is it? Loan almost
Yeah, yeah.
to
So
do it.
with these other, like, because it's not a diploma, I can use vet fee. So there's vet fee help and then there's hex debt.
Okay.
So I'm using vet fee help. But yeah, basically once you're earning a certain amount, then you start paying it back.
Yeah. Is it expensive or not really?
Oh, it's not cheap. It's like probably 20 grand or something
Per year or per semester?
per year.
Okay.
Oh, well, no, I think I'm paying like 12,000 a semester. I
That's
don't
quite a bit.
know. See, my brain doesn't work like that. If I'm not paying it now, then it's free, basically. It's girl math.
Go, man. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why Afterpay is so dangerous.
have you ever like do any I suppose like special effects like for like any TV shows or anything or like a smaller shows?
I used to do acting. So we did a zombie short film
Mm,
and I did the zombie bite prosthetic. I was super obsessed with zombies for a little bit.
yeah.
To the point it's kind of faded now because I've been getting it removed because I'm stupid. But I got a zombie bite tattoo. And then as soon as I kept trying to tell myself that I liked it, but then that night I just cried. I was like, why did I do this? So I've been getting it removed.
Um, I can't laugh because I've got someone's name on my chest to this day.
I know. I think that's hot though. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like psycho hot to get someone's name tattooed on you.
Well,
Like I
it's
keep trying to convince my boyfriend to get my name on his neck, and he just
oh
won't.
neck is ooh, it's always
I think it's
visible.
so sexy. Like destroy your life.
Yeah. Neck, I feel like it's more like to do with like I don't know, like maybe criminals.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it.
Yeah. But my one, it's all started with we're just sitting at home watching telly and stuff, and we're just like I was like I think we saw something stupid on TV, and she's like, "Oh, will you get my name tattooed on your chest?" I was like, if you pay for it," and then she goes, "All right." I was like, "Shit."
I love it. I think it's great. It's so dumb, but it's great. I have my dog's name tattooed
Oh
on
yeah,
me.
where'd you get that tattooed?
It's on my foot. I can kind of
Okay.
show you. If someone has a foot fetish, this is your moment.
We just got.
Let's see. Can you see it? It's
Oh
really
yeah,
small.
just
Clementine.
yes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then I have clementine flowers
Oh wow,
all
I never
over.
knew what clementine looks like. The
Well, I
flower.
named her after the Walking Dead game. The
Oh
zombies.
wow.
And then I discovered that there's flowers called clementines. I'm like, okay, I'll get clementine flowers. I won't get
Yeah, yeah,
zombies in
yeah.
me again.
Um, I know we talked about clementine. Do you mind we talk about it a little bit or?
No, we can talk about Clem.
Um,
That's okay.
okay. When did you get clementine? When did you get
I got her when I was 19, and I
19? So
convinced my mom to let me get clementine because I went through my first breakup, and
oh,
this was like a little
f-
bit after it. And I'm like, if I have a dog, like it would help me get over
first
it.
breakups are hard.
Yeah, dude, it was rough. It was not a good relationship. That was bad in
Um,
hindsight. But like, yeah. But so I got a dog, and then she became my emotional support animal,
yeah.
and yeah, she was awesome.
What? How old were you? I mean, how long were you together with your other partner before
Not
you broke
long,
up? Oh,
not
not long.
long. No, not long at all. But like, it was like the
Months
first
or
guy, you know,
months or
months. Yeah, months. But
okay.
it was really bad because, like, very quick summary, very quick. I found out that I don't really know if it's good to say. I found out he had a girlfriend who was pregnant, like a couple of months into us sort of dating. And then so
Oh,
it was a very big like because I was 18, I was
yeah,
still a baby,
yeah. And you just
and
big
like
shock.
yeah, it was like the first guy I ever slept with, and then
Yeah.
there was like so much guilt and stuff
Mm.
when I
But
found it out.
it's not your fault though.
I know, but it's still like I know it's not my fault, but there was still like so much guilt because like she just had a baby
Mm.
and like I was a part of it, whether it was willingly or not. So then, so yeah, it really messed with my head. So then I got a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, did did he lie to you about it?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yes. You can't
He
really.
was my manager. He was my manager,
Ooh,
and
what?
so
Where were you working? If you don't mind me
Hungry
asking, like,
Jacks,
because
Hungry Jacks is
yeah,
fast food.
yeah.
Um, and like you can't date your manager.
You don't shit where you eat,
I
Tara.
know, but it turns out I like shitting where I eat. Turns out I discovered something about myself, and it's why I can no longer have attractive bosses because I will go there.
Oh, oh, was
So
he attractive? Was he?
No, he kind of looked like a sloth. I realize that now, but at the time I
Mm,
thought he was beautiful. But yeah,
mm.
he was like 6 fucking 5 or something. I'm
Oh,
5'3".
oh, you like tall guys. I saw Liam. He's a tall, handsome man. So and it's funny. It's
He
funny
is. He
because
waddles when he walks though.
the joke he plays on you.
Oh, the
The
gift?
yeah,
That was so mean.
that was
At one
funny.
point,
It was
it's not in
funny.
the video, but at one point I was like to him, we should put glitter in it. And he was like,
It's,
we don't want to be that mean. We won't do that.
mm,
I'm like, okay, yeah,
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
and then you put the
So,
bow.
yeah,
Wait,
so
wait, wait.
basically
I'll let you explain it from the start, so then people know what we're talking about.
on Christmas Eve, my boyfriend came over with a gift that was sort of wrapped, and he was like, I can't remember the cousin's name. I think it was like Chris or something. And he was like, okay, I have a gag gift for my cousin Chris. Let's wrap it up really hard. And I'm like, awesome, that's so much fun. So like I got like 3 different types of tape out and twine and like wrapped it around just constantly and like so many different layers and of paper and everything. And one point I was like, let's put glitter in it. And he's like, let's not. And I'm like, okay. And then as soon as we finished wrapping it, he was like, jokes, that's for you. You can unwrap it now. And so I had to undo all the layers that I just spent like 20 minutes putting on to get my gift.
Yeah, you you spend a lot of time and like lots of effort to try and make it really hard to open it.
And he kept making me say like, what did he kept making me say, oh, you're a fucking idiot
Yeah, yeah.
to like
To point
Chris,
to it.
but
Yeah,
really it was like towards me.
yeah.
Like,
And then it wasn't until you put on the bow where it's like, okay, say fuck you,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
quit.
He was
And
like,
then like
jokes, that's for you. I'm like, oh, fuck.
your face was just like, and he was just laughing, and I
I
was
was
I
like,
was legit pissing myself with him as well. Well, man, it was so funny.
this is
Um,
bullying. Like, surely there's some sort of abuse in this. Like,
is it abuse if you do it to yourself?
yeah. I don't know. Fool me once, so
Uh, anyway, so then you got your dog Clementine. How
yeah, I
did you
got
come up
Clem.
how did you come up with the name?
The Walking Dead game by Telltale.
That's right, that's right.
Mm. The main
Oh,
character's name was Clementine.
I have
And
not
like,
seen that.
it's such a good game. So good.
Yeah.
And I cried. I cried so much in that game.
Why
But
is that? Why'd you cry?
well, spoiler, one of the main characters dies. Not Clementine, but the guy who looks after Clementine, Lee, because Clementine's like 8 or something in the
Mm.
game. And Lee dies. He
Oh.
gets bit. And I was just like sobbing. Um, but yeah, and no one knew, like no one had really heard of the name Clementine in
Mm.
Australia. It's not that like common. I was working at Hungry Jack's at this time, and I remember telling one of my coworkers I want to name my dog Clementine. He was like, "Oh, it sounds like an STD," and I'm like, that's terrible. And then months later, I got
Oh,
Clementine,
it's
and I
so
was
funny.
really tired because she was a puppy and she
Mm.
wasn't, she was doing puppy stuff, so I
Mm.
wasn't sleeping a lot. And I remember saying to my coworker that I'm really tired, and he's like, "Why are you tired?" I'm like, "I got Clementine." He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's my fucking dog." He thought I had an STD.
That sounds like an STD. Don't say it. I've got Clementine.
I got the Clementine, man. It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And then, wait, how did you convince your mum to get it? Because I know it's hard to convince a parent to get a pet.
Yeah, we've always mainly had cats.
Yeah.
We had some dogs, but they were like cats, so it wasn't really like we've ever had a dog properly. So I was just trying to convince my mum that like if I had a dog, like I wouldn't be so sad if guys left me and I wouldn't be lonely because I have a dog. And
Wait,
then
hang
she
on.
was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Wait, did the screen go black just then?
Not for me.
Oh, because yeah, it came up. You've been inactive for how many
Oh,
hours? Yeah, just go
yeah,
do the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Um, and then look, is it? I suppose you can't really compare it to like a child. Um, is it? I was
They
gonna
don't
say like
like
I
it
was gonna
when you
ask.
do. They don't like it when
Yeah.
you do, but I do. She was my
Mm.
daughter.
I was gonna say because like when you have a pet, eventually it becomes part of the family member, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a child, that is essentially your child.
Mm. I mean, look,
Um.
I had her from 7 weeks old. Like I fed her every night.
Yep.
I looked after her, I cleaned up after her, I walked her, I
Mm,
took her to her vet appointments. I slept with her.
mm.
You know, she was my best friend. She was my baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you spend like pretty much like every waking minute,
Yeah.
waking days with her.
Like I
Um.
would be out thinking about when I can go home to my. I left a family holiday early once because I missed
Mm.
Clementine, so I could go home to her.
No, I know that feeling because I remember
Yeah.
I had the same feeling. Just want to go home to the dog.
Yeah, and
Um.
like people with actual children, I'm sure it might be different if I ever have a baby, but that was the closest I've ever come to like
Yeah.
I guess the maternal feeling.
Yeah. And then when did Clementine start to get sick?
Only 6 years. She was only six.
Okay.
And like a month earlier, so 2020 is when she got
Okay.
sick. And a
That's
month earlier, she was like puking up her dinner and
yeah.
stuff. And we're like, that's weird, but she still had energy, she still wanted to play and everything. She still had an appetite, she was still eating, she was just puking it up. So I took her to a normal vet, and the vet was like, she just has some tummy issues. He just like felt around on her stomach. Like, she just has some tummy issues. He's $300 worth of gastro-friendly dog food. I'm like, awesome. He's like, in a month's time, if she's still sick, bring her back. I'm like, all right. Um, she had no interest in the gastro-friendly dog food. It was disgusting to her,
Mm,
apparently. But then a month on the day, I was meant to be going to like an acting thing.
yeah.
And then I come upstairs, I'm talking with my mom, and then she looks down at Clementine. She's like, is her eyes yellow? And I'm like, hmm. And then I lift up her gums, and it's all yellow. And so she had jaundice.
Oh.
So we took her to a vet, and he's like, yeah, go straight to emergency. And we're like, okay. So we took her to the emergency vet, and she was in there for 5 days, $12,000. And she was diagnosed with chronic hepatitis, but they could never really figure out what caused it. So that's liver failure in dogs.
Okay.
So then
Yeah.
it was like 5 months of, at one point she was on like 12 pills a day.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 months of like doctor visits or vet visits and procedures and everything, blood tests. And what was really frustrating about it is she didn't act sick.
Mm,
She wanted to go for walkies. She was
mm,
energetic. She was happy. She was barking. And like
mm,
at one point, her vet was like, "Look, I know she doesn't look sick, but she's really sick." And I'm like, I don't think she is. I think she's
mm.
fine. Until I can see that she's sick, we're gonna keep doing what we have to do to try and get her better.
Yeah.
Um, and like it was, yeah, 5 months, and then uh, she from the medication she was taking, she went down in pills, and all of her liver enzymes were returning to normal. And then um, a side effect from the medication was she stopped producing red blood cells. So
Oh.
she had to go in for a blood transfusion. And for a dog, it's really dangerous for some
Yeah.
reason. I'm not sure why. But she had 3 blood transfusions. And on the third one, she ended up throwing a clot into her brain.
Mm.
So all of her liver enzymes and everything were getting better. She was recovering, but she ended up dying from a secondary condition brought on from the medication.
Oh,
So that
shit.
sucked.
Yeah.
And that
Sorry
was
to hear
like,
that.
yeah, sorry, it's 4 years. But that was
Mm.
$32,000 in vet
All
bills
up.
in 5 months. Yeah.
Is it because of the overnight stays or like, well, I guess a combination of
She
everything?
she only had stayed for those 5 nights
Okay.
that first trip. She never had to do another overnight stay. She did have a big surgery in the sense that they cut her open to look at her liver
Mm.
to see what was like going on with it, if there was something wrong. Um, but that's just all little things that just accumulated.
Yeah. Looking back, like, do you think she might have, I don't know, like, lived longer if they didn't give her those medication that?
No, she would have died from the liver failure. It was because of the medication that her liver was returning to normal,
Okay.
but it was just secondary conditions. I have a lot of blame towards that first vet that I went to when she was puking, because if he did a blood test, we would have seen that her levels weren't right. But
Mm.
all he did was feel around on her stomach and
Mm.
was like, "She's good, don't worry about it." And then a
But
month later, oh, it had turned into chronic, from acute to chronic. And it probably would have been a lot simpler to treat if he had picked it up a month
yeah.
ago, you know?
Um. I know it lays heavy on you, but it, sometimes like some things you can't change no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Can't change the outcome.
I don't know. And it was difficult because, like, my biggest fear with Clementine was always going to be arthritis. I was always scared she'd get arthritis because
Mm.
she was a border collie. So there was a lot of running and jumping and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I was
but like,
watching some of your videos. Yeah,
um, but yeah, she had bottled, like, I gave her bottled
yeah,
water because I didn't want her
yeah,
having the chemicals in the tap water. Like,
yeah.
she had a gourmet meal every night. Like, I did everything right. It's just some dogs are gonna get sick.
Yeah. I've just discovered recently as well. Yeah, the tap water is not as good as they say it is.
No, it's so, I mean, those pipes that carry the water are so full of bacteria
You know,
and
just that, but like
chemicals and everything.
the amount of fluoride that's in it, it's absurd.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
why I
this. I was
drink
like,
bottled water.
oh, I
Yeah.
always believe what the teacher told us. Like, yeah, it's for your teeth, and blah blah blah.
If
But I'm
it
like,
tastes weird, like, you can't convince me that something is good if it tastes weird.
yeah.
Like,
So then it wasn't until I switched to bottled water, I drank that for like maybe like a week or two, and then I started drinking tap water. I was like, whoa,
yeah, it's
the tap water
disgusting,
tastes,
right?
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
disgusting. Like it's just weird. It's like, why
Yeah.
the hell was I been drinking all this time?
Yeah. I will never
Um,
drink anything from a tap. Like,
mm,
that's, yeah. So much bacteria can just slink into it. I'm not doing it. Even when we were in Europe for 2 months, we spent a pretty dollar on bottled water, even though everyone was like, this is the best drinking water in the world. We're like, no, we
yeah.
will drink bottled. Thank you.
I made that mistake when I went to visit Vietnam in visit my auntie in Vietnam, and they told, oh, no, don't drink anything that's got ice in it, or like don't drink any like
Yeah.
water, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's nothing. It's fine. Like I used to grow up, in Thailand. It's all the same. Blah 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 blah. I drank the water as normal. It's like that night, just
Mm-hmm.
like waterfall, like like this. This.
Ugh. Yeah.
So
I
I learned my
heard
lesson.
that if it's ice with a hole in it,
Mm,
it's manufactured ice, so it's safe.
okay. Yep.
But if it's solid
Yep.
cubes,
Yep.
it's like from a tap. But actually,
Yeah.
my friend recently went to Nepal to do Mount Everest, and he is really weird about. He's the opposite of me. He's weird about drinking bottled water. He'll always drink tap water. You can't
Yes.
make him drink bottled water. And obviously in Nepal, they're like, don't drink, tap water, drink bottled. And he's like, no, I'll just use water purifying tablets. And then, like, in Nepal, there's feces in the water. There's probably
Mm,
some decomposing bodies somewhere.
mm,
So he got violently sick, even with the water purifying tablets.
damn.
And I was
Um,
like, was it worth it?
because like, well, I've been following the plastic bottled water as well, because like some plastic get in it, or even if it sits in the sun for too long.
Yeah.
I think like over an hour or something, and then that means like when you drink that water that's been in the sun, you're actually consuming plastic.
Yeah, they say not to drink water if you've left it in your car.
Yeah, and then was it also this scientists they were saying, I think over the course of a year, if you keep drinking bottled water, you would have consumed the what is it the amount of plastic it takes to make a credit card in
Really?
1 year. Yeah, I was like, oh, so most of
I'm
it should pass
still
through.
probably gonna risk that. I'm
No,
still
no, no,
gonna risk that.
100%. Like
Yeah.
plastic over all the other stuff, so the
Yeah,
germs.
over like a bacteria that could kill me.
Yeah, but then like, all these conspiracy theories and stuff, you don't know what to believe, because they were saying
Yeah.
also saying too much fluoride like makes like lowers your IQ and things like that.
And vaccines give you autism.
Yeah.
Can you believe how dumb we were during COVID? That was crazy. I can see how a zombie apocalypse would destroy us quite
Yes.
easily now. Like the
Right.
amount of like logic that just went straight out the window.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't know what
Crazy.
some people were thinking and some people weren't. And
No, some people definitely weren't.
mm,
Like crazy.
but
I
I
mean, I've had
must.
COVID, but I was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm.
yeah.
I had COVID as well, but I was like, oh shit! I was like, oh, I'm gonna get really sick and I'm gonna like be on the
Mm.
ventilator and stuff. And then legit just like 2 days, just like flu-like symptoms, and then that was it. I was like, oh, this is
I had
it.
no idea. I had no idea I had COVID. I tested for the sake of testing and it came back positive. I'm like, oh shit.
Mm,
I was completely fine, no symptoms at all. It could have been a false positive for all I knew.
yeah.
But I think COVID was really only dangerous if you were like pre-existing health conditions and
Yes,
everything.
or if you're older.
Yeah, just like
Um,
a cold, but a lot more aggressive cold.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if people know this, but like every year, like influenza, which is like the cold and flu, actually
Spanish influenza.
kills old people because they can't fight it. They don't have the immune
Yeah,
system to fight it, and there's like pretty
yeah,
much nothing you can do to try and like cure it.
yeah.
Um,
Mm-mm. It's gonna. It was. The plague is still around. Like
really,
it's really. Yeah, it's
what's the
really only
plague?
the
Tell me,
bubonic
please. I want to
plague.
know. I want
The
to know.
bubonic plague.
I don't know anything about it. Tell me. But,
You know, the one that decimated England. I think it killed like 80% of their population.
yeah, but what's that? What's that? The sickness of like what is it? Attack and how do you like contract it and things like that?
So it was carried by fleas that
Okay.
were on rats.
Yep.
And it was like a blood. I think the fleas would bite you in the blood and everything. And I'm not too sure exactly what the symptoms were. I think it was like flu-like symptoms, but there was like vomiting and diarrhea,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. And
yeah.
then basically, if you got it back then, odds are you were gonna die because
Yeah.
they didn't have penicillin or anything
Is
back
that how
then,
you
and
cure it? Oh,
antibiotics because
okay.
it's still around.
Yeah,
People still get it, but because we have antibiotics now,
you can fix it.
there's a yeah, you can get better. But it wiped out like 80% of Europe's population.
Oh, because my ex fiance, she is a nurse, so then like that's why like very onto like these kind of health stuff, and she's like, if you've got any sickness, get away from me.
Yeah, I'm
Because
a hypochondriac, so it's
oh,
really bad.
so what does that mean?
I'm basically, if you have something, I probably have it too.
Okay. Uh,
Um, like I'm terrified of it. Like, so for example, my father-in-law has he got blood clots. I'm pretty sure I have blood clots now. Like,
oh,
my thigh kind of hurt a little bit. So I'm like, oh my God, I got it. Like
oh,
it's an anxiety thing.
okay. Um, yeah, because like she didn't want to get the jab, but then like they made it. I'm not sure it was law or was the rules where they had to get all the nurses
Yeah,
um double vax and like booster and all these things to
yeah,
keep working, which is really unfair. And then
yeah,
she got really sick after the first booster.
yeah.
Like she was like, oh, not COVID, like she didn't get it, but she got really sick from the
Side
jab.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she couldn't walk upstairs. Like even afterwards, after like months and months later, she,
Um,
like in 2 3 flight of stairs, she feel like as if she's out of breath and things like that. So
yeah. Oh, that's
um
scary.
um
Yeah, I was more scared of the side effects with getting the jab, but I
yeah.
didn't get any.
Okay. Well, yeah. I didn't get the jab, so I was like, oh, lucky.
Oh,
Anyway,
really? I got two.
got two. That's okay.
Yeah,
Some people would still like do. How many boosters they're up to now?
like
They're still trying
four
to
or
push it.
something. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they're still trying to push
COVID's
it. Yeah,
over. It's gone now.
they're
We're
still trying
fine.
to push it. Anyway,
Mm.
um, okay. So from there, after your, oh, actually, I don't want to ask this question, but like, how did you feel when your dog passed away? Like, was it hard?
Devastated. Yeah, it was like this weird sort of thing where I suddenly realized that there was no God. Like it made a lot of sense to me in that moment that religion and the concept of heaven was created solely as a comfort. because people would say like, "Oh, you'll see her soon." I'm like, no, like if there was a God that I prayed to for 5 months straight every night,
mm,
Clementine wouldn't have died. And like the idea of heaven is simply because it's nicer to think that you'll see something that you love so much again
yes.
when in reality they're just gone.
Yeah.
And that's what I really struggled with, was just that she no longer existed.
Yeah. Um, I think you and I have the same views on that because you look at all the children around the world that's sick or just
Yeah.
dies for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when they're about 1, 2 year old, they haven't done anything, and then they get like sick for no reason, and it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
But see, even now, I still find myself like I'm adamantly atheist. But when my in-laws' family dog died and I was comforting the youngest kid, I kept having to stop myself from saying like, "Oh, you'll see her soon."
mm,
Like I kept,
yeah,
it's like an instinctual reaction to just sort of comfort someone with false hope.
yeah. Do you believe in like spirits or like ghosts and stuff or no?
I'm complicated with that because on one part I can't say that I do and not believe in heaven or hell.
Mm,
I just don't, in the logic side of things, I can't understand how something like that could exist.
mm,
Like, I really think when just nothing but a bunch of germs that like multiplied and baked and mutated and became this,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Through evolution and everything. I don't understand because if I think if you believe in ghosts, you have to believe in like magic sort of thing. But I like the idea of ghosts and I like the idea of scary things. So I wish it was real.
So you haven't had like any, I suppose like spiritual like incidences that has happened to you?
I've had a couple of weird moments, but nothing enough to be like, oh yeah. Like
Like, what happened to
one
you?
time when I was a teenager, I went through a stage where I thought I was a witch.
Okay, okay, okay. You
And
gotta
so
tell this.
so I was doing magic. Um,
Did you learn from Charmed?
I learned from Google. I was really quite sure I'd go around. I remember one time I made out with this guy at the beach. I was like
Yeah.
15 or something. And then like we added each other on MSN
Oh, I
after
remember
it.
Emerson. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I said to my friend, I was like, should I tell him I'm a witch? And she's
Yeah.
like, no, Cara, don't do that. I'm like, you should know though. Anyway, so I would do magic in my room.
What does that
To
entail?
like, oh, it was like weird things, saying words and like you need water and like rose petals and sun colored candles and shit.
Oh.
And it was all very vain stuff. I was trying to make my hair grow longer faster and change the color of my eyes and make my singing voice nicer and everything. Um, but after I started doing that, one time I did hear voices outside of my bedroom door conversing. It was like a weird language I hadn't heard of.
Yep.
And I will say though, I was a part of this like witches chat on like the internet. And for some time, I was like, "Did you guys hear that?" And someone was like, "Yeah, it sounded like they were speaking a different language." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Mm.
I heard that too. And then another time, I heard someone gasp like in my ear. Yeah.
Oh.
Um. And then there's always just been those paranoid, like I feel like something's watching me, sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
things.
Um, yeah, like I don't believe in not so much. I want something to fully convince me there's like a hell and heaven and like all these higher powers, but I definitely do believe there's like some sort of spirit entity that exists amongst us, maybe in between
Mm-hmm.
worlds or something. But I've never believed in any of this stuff until what is it? It happened to me and my um ex partner at the time. Um, have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No, I'm terrified of it, but no.
Oh, if you get that, it's the worst thing in the world. It's
Yeah.
like your your eyes can be closed or open, but then you're like paralyzed. You cannot move
Yeah.
physically, and then inside your head you're screaming really loudly, but all it comes out is like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, that's happened to me a few times, but it wasn't until one incident where it happened to me, and then like I woke up and then I told my partner about it, and then like because some little girl was trying to play hide and seek with me in my dream,
Yeah.
and then I told her, the little girl was like, no, 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 I don't want to play. She's like, oh, come on, come play. I was like, fine, you know, you go hide and I'll come seek. And it's like, okay, I'll count to 10 and stuff. And then like, of course, I wasn't gonna go find a little random girl in my dream.
Yeah.
So then she went off and it's like, oh, count slowly. I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 10. And then I woke up.
Yeah.
And then I told my partner about it, and before she could tell her son, at the time she had a son, because he can see like shadows and spirits and things, and he said, oh, Mom, there's a little girl, she's playing hide and seek with me. And Mom's like,
Oh.
and then she's like, where? It's like, oh, she's hiding in my cupboard right now, like just with her head just looking out. This is before she told him about my dream.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh. And then she told him about my dream. And then, oh, that's happened. And then he went to school. And then she went to work. And then usually I'll go to work last. And then I heard footsteps. I was like, no one should be in the house. Like, she's at school and then she's at work. And like, look, we're talking about like really loud footsteps in the house. And then I texted her. I was like, hey, Dom was his name. Oh, your kid. I think he's wagging school. Can you check? He's like, no, he's checked in like 2 minutes ago. They did a roll call. I was like, oh shit. And then all the doors like in the house, I shit you not, like just like swung open and then swung shut.
Ew.
And then it swung open. So it was one of those doors you got to turn to open it, but it went shut and then opened again. I legit just grabbed the keys in my undies and just ran. And I had like no pants, nothing. And then I went to my mom's house and then got some clothes and stuff. She's like, why are you in your undies? I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
As a ghost. Yeah, no, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. I want to do ghost hunting. I want to do ghost hunting.
I want to do that too. But recently my friend went. They did the one in, what is it? The one halfway between here and New South Wales. It cost like $150, and then they stayed there overnight. They stayed there with the stay with the, what is it, the ghost tour guide or person, and I was like, oh, what else did we do? We did nothing. We just drank, and then like we didn't hear anything, any experiences, like nothing, zero. But I've heard stories where they have experienced like everything. You either experience everything or nothing at all.
I think you got to go somewhere like America. They have a very big, like, history and stuff. And I feel like Australia's history is that long. I did the ghost tour in Boggo Jail.
Which one's that?
It's like a famous haunted prison here in Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
It was shit. At one point, the tour guide was like, did you hear that? And I'm like, no. Like, there's nothing. This is just an old jail. There's no ghosts. Come on. I need to pee. Hurry up. Yeah. It was.
What if it was like another dude just knocking and stuff? Do you reckon they do that?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Or like did they hire someone for the night? Just like, hey, like 12 o'clock, can you just throw a rock in our direction or something? You reckon they do that? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to like market something as being haunted and stuff, you got to do the scare factor. This was just boring. But I think you got to go like places where people were murdered and stuff. And in America, they have a lot of serial killers, so there's a lot of.
There's a famous one in South Australia. Have you heard of Kapunda?
No.
Look it up after. So
Kapunda.
Kapunda, yeah, in South Australia. So I think it's where this bunch of people that got killed and put in barrels.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a small town, and apparently if you drive through at night and it's just eerie, weary, and no one is there ever.
Mm.
Yeah, and and there's this one spot where it goes downhill and then uphill, and then if you just go around the corner too fast or something, there's someone chasing you with like their car and stuff. But then
Ooh, I
there's no
love
one
that.
there. There's no one there.
Yeah,
And you can't blame drugs or alcohol or anything when you're like sober people trying to go there and experience these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
You
So
should
many
try.
people have like said that they've done it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I know
Um.
we definitely have some bad people in Australia, but not enough mass murders and stuff, serial killers. I think the worst person we ever made was Peter Scully, but
Peter Scully, who's that? Sounds familiar.
he's a pedophile. He
Oh.
went to like Indonesia, maybe.
Oh, he fled.
Bought No, he was living there. Well, he
Okay.
did flee Australia. I think he did tax evasion or something here, and then he fled to the Philippines. Um, and he did snuff films with babies.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Um, and then sold them on the dark web for like 10 grand each and shit.
What? Who?
Yeah.
Who the fuck buys these things? Like, how do you get off from it?
Bad
It's
people.
disgusting.
I
I
know. I don't get it.
can't comprehend it.
We had another guy, I don't know his name, but he was like Northern Territory, I think.
Yeah.
He did like a video with like a dog.
What?
He like killed the mom. She had puppies. Killed the mom, cut her open, and then put the babies in
Oh.
her and
Oh.
sold that video and stuff. Like we have some really sick. I think we are one of the biggest countries for pedophilia.
Yeah, there was this famous influencer just recently um went on TikTok. He made a video about it because recently some I'm not gonna quote names because I don't know the names.
Mm.
He apparently made this boy so the guy pretended to be like an underage, like female, and
Mhm.
then convinced the little boy to send him like nude pictures of himself, and then he would use that to blackmail the little boy and said,
Yeah,
"You give me money, this and that." And then like for the last week that he was alive, he just trying to scramble like all the coins, all the money to try and give to him,
yeah.
and he just don't want to be embarrassed. And then he took his own life, but
Mm.
it was the guy that blackmailed the little boy to take his own life, and he only got 6 months jail for it.
Yeah. So stupid. So stupid. Like that sort of shit. I really think we should bring an eye for an eye. I think that would be
Yeah,
a great deterrent.
because
And like pedophiles and stuff, full
yes,
castration.
yeah.
Rapists,
So
full castration.
oh, which some country does that? I forgot where I read it like a
Yeah,
couple months ago. Yeah, some
yeah,
country does that, and which makes sense.
yeah.
If you commit those kind of crimes against children,
Sex,
yes,
yeah, sex is a a privilege. It's not a right. And
mm,
if you abuse it, you lose it.
yeah, and it's not like you can take. I think you can take pills now to make you like
Low
in,
libido or something.
yeah, and
Mm.
then after that, if you're still like committing crimes, and then they cut it off.
Absolutely, I fucking think that. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't think it's good for your TikTok.
No,
I
no, no.
definitely think.
Don't censor yourself. Do whatever.
Okay, because I'm
I
all
don't
right.
care. No, I don't care.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, these child abusers and stuff get months and stuff.
No, it's
Like
crazy.
this is a baby. Like it's a baby.
Mm,
And like you did that to it. You don't deserve to see freedom. They will never see freedom ever again. You've literally just put them in their own internal hell for the rest of their lives.
yeah,
Like you should lose your penis at the
yeah,
bare minimum, you know?
yeah. And these kids, like they don't know how to cope with it. That's why most of them take their lives, and
Drugs.
yeah, or they
Mm.
get spiral into drugs and then they can't get themselves out.
Yeah.
Therefore, they pretty much ruin their lives already.
Yeah.
And they're young, they haven't lived yet. So therefore, whoever committed the crime should
Yeah.
be
An
punished
eye for an
accordingly.
eye. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely think
I,
that.
I can't believe we're one of the like country that actually protects those type of people.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of money in it, and that's why they're all protected.
Okay, I was thinking like, is they have money, or is it because the politicians are the one doing it also? Is that why?
Probably. I mean, they all protect each other. Predators protect predators.
Mm.
That's how it works.
And I didn't know this. I thought like in Australia you have to go on, like a registered sex offender thing, but apparently we don't.
We also don't have access to register sex offenders.
Yeah, only the police
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So I can't tell if my neighbor's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one next
So,
to a school, which
hmm
many times they have been putting the like pedophiles next to a school when they're not supposed to be anywhere near it.
hmm Do you think that pedophilia is a mental disease, or do you think it's attraction?
It's definitely not disease. It's a
I
choice.
think,
Like,
no, I don't think it's a choice, but I think my belief is that it's like I'm attracted to men, and they are the unfortunate ones that are attracted to children.
right, but they
Um,
don't have. Um, I I'm trying to see from their point of view, and it's hard because I haven't been there.
but I also don't know if it is something like, um, oh, sorry, no, I know what you mean. Sorry, I didn't mean like mental illness, like depression.
Mm,
I meant something like, psychopaths and stuff. They can't control it. It's how
mm,
they're born or whatever.
yeah.
I think, I don't know if it's something more within that family, like it's a predatory sort of thing.
Mm.
Like just something isn't connected.
So you reckon like they're born with it, or as opposed to, like monkey see, monkey do. Like that term. What is it? Hurt people, hurts people.
Yeah,
So like if they're being abused when they're a kid, then of course they're gonna grow up doing the same thing. But then,
I think there's a lot of people that have,
mm,
and I don't think that's something you can rule out because I think, statistically, a lot of pedophiles are people, children who have been abused themselves.
right,
Um, but I just don't, yeah, sometimes I think it's just attraction, like how I'm attracted to a man.
mm,
And it sucks and it's unfortunate, but sorry, you can't fuck a kid. Like, sorry, you got a short straw. That's what it is.
yeah,
But then other times I think that it could be some sort of predatory thing, sort of like a psychopath, you know,
yeah,
sort of like that. Because there would have to be some sort of lack of empathy to do that.
yeah. Like mm, as if you have no soul. You have to.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Even to like kill someone. Like I've never killed anyone before, so I can't really say, oh yeah, it feels like this. But
yeah. Like yeah, psychos get off on it. Like
oh, do they
I
like
think,
when
I
they?
think, oh yeah,
Is that what they do it?
they. I watch a lot of that stuff when I'm sculpting.
Oh,
And I think before I started going live, it's how I would relax. Um, but yeah, for some of them, it's like a voice in their head, a pressure
right.
that just keeps building and building, and it's constantly on them
Mm,
and rising. And until they kill someone, they won't find relief. But then when they kill them, it's like they can take a breath again.
right.
Some people, they get off on it. The more you fight, the more they like it. They want you to scream, they want you to hurt.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, and then yeah, some killers don't get any sort of sexual gratification out of it, but a lot do.
How do you reckon go about solving it? Like the um the
I don't think you
pedophilia,
can. I don't think
or
you
try
can
and
solve.
combat it, or try and combat it.
Um, harsher crimes. You got to make them scared to do it. Like the worst thing they can get is jail time, and then they're put in protective custody. You know,
Yeah,
away from the people that will actually punish them for what they've done.
yeah,
Like, if you do something as abhorrent as hurt a child, death. If there's indisputable proof, you don't deserve to live. Why
yes,
do I want you to live? Why don't you're not contributing to the world? You don't deserve it. You need to go.
yeah. No,
And if there's that fear of death, then maybe that's less of a deterrent. I don't care if you're a pedophile. I care if you hurt kids. Like,
mm,
if you can live with it, and never act on it, power to you. But it's the people that end up convincing themselves that it's okay and the kid wants it, you know? That's
Yeah.
what I don't like.
I just wonder why like Australian laws are so
Lenient.
yes, so they're super lenient on the pedophiles. Like, this just doesn't make
Mm.
sense. Absurd.
We need some sort of internal investigation. If I was a lawyer, I would destroy everyone. You hurt a dog, jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I think I've figured out like when you if you're a lawyer, it's not whether your client is guilty or not. It's what you can prove or can't prove.
Hmm.
That's all it is.
And I know that judges are restricted in a sense. Like you hear all the time, they're like, okay, I'm going to give you the max sentence, which is 24 months, for example. Like, I think there's only so much they can do. There's something within the laws. I don't know how you rewrite that or how you go about it, but
Um, I was thinking, right, like how do they pass these so-called laws and policies? Because do
I
they
don't
vote?
know.
Say like I don't know, like in the lower house or something, and then it passes to
Yeah,
like upper house, and then like they're supposed to debate it and things like that, and then it gets passed into law. Is that how it works? I don't know.
I have no, I would imagine something to do in Parliament. I would
Yeah.
imagine
I
something
wonder if there's
within
any
politics.
politicians we can call and ask, hey, can you come talk to me one sec?
Yeah, why do pedophiles keep getting away with what they're doing?
That'd be, yeah,
That'd
no,
be a
do it.
good
No,
podcast.
or
You
not.
should try to get a pedophile on your podcast. Holy shit. The problem with that though is that they lie. Like everyone always
Yeah.
lies. You can't ever get the actual truth.
Yes.
And they're
Okay.
so good at manipulating, like grooming a child. They're so good at that. It's like an
Yeah.
instinctual thing that they just know how to do, like a psycho.
What do they? I was gonna say like, what do they do to try and groom the kids? Like, do they? Hey, here's some candy. You want some? Or like, fuck, I wouldn't know.
They become your best friend. They become your confidant,
Okay.
someone you can go to trust. They groom families as well. Like they'll actively groom parents so
Yeah.
that the parents trust them to be alone with their kids.
Oh,
Um, it's basically you're just a nice guy, such a nice guy, so
mm,
likable, easy to talk to, always there to help. And that's why people are always so surprised when someone they think they know turns out to be a pedophile
mm.
because they've
Does
been
it?
groomed.
Does it ever happen the other way around,
What do you mean?
where the pedophile is the woman?
Yeah, yeah. There's
Oh,
there's women that are pedophiles, but from what I've heard, the way that women go about it is different to the way that men go about it. Like it doesn't take long for men to start to get sexual, but the way that women go about it is a lot more friendship based.
mm. Surely
With
like almost like being a mother as well. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's definitely women who are pedophiles. It's
it's
less,
common.
yeah, than men, but they definitely exist. A lot of them that come out, like the stories and stuff, is female teachers that have abused or started a relate because there's always a relationship that the women do with their minor students and everything.
Yeah, oh dude, I remember in high school we actually had one where the teacher dated the student. And she was at the time when
Yeah,
they were dating, she was like 16 or something. And then but the absurd thing is she got the permission from her parents. And they
yeah,
gave to date this dude was like 46 like
yeah,
and she was just like 16, maybe barely
yeah,
17, and then they were allowed to date. That was
yeah,
absurd. And then, well, it wasn't until like people, students saw him in class, like kids, like holding hands and stuff, and that's when he got told on. And then he quit his job teaching just so he can continue to date her because you're not allowed to date
so
the
gross.
student. But
Yeah, obviously.
by law, he's allowed to date her because he's got permission from his from the parents, and she's
Yeah,
16 and over. That's
it's
fucking big
crazy. I mean,
time.
like, even my sister, she was 16 or 17, and her boyfriend was like 22, 23. And like, even like, it wasn't until I recently said to her, like, would you let your daughter, she has a daughter now. Would you let your daughter, when she was that age, date a guy that was that age? She's like, oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like it's only now that she realized that it was gross, like icky.
But are they
Um,
were they still together or no? They just broke up and stuff.
oh no,
Yeah.
she's married now, baby. Married a Filipino guy.
Oh, yeah.
Met on
That
a
is-
cruise ship.
have you been on a cruise ship before?
No, I'm paranoid I'll get motion sickness.
No, because I get motion sickness. I've tried every pill under the sun, and no matter like what boat or dip, no matter how calm the water is, I still get it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I'm so scared.
it's something to do with the bone in your ear.
Really?
Yeah, it's balance thing. Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's so strange because I was fine. I've always been on planes because the parents are divorced, so we've always like flown school holidays and stuff, but it's been like 2 hours on a flight. And I swear, because going to Europe, we had to catch three planes. The first one was 3 hours, the second one was 7 hours. Oh no, the second one was 12 hours, and then the third one was 7 hours. But it was like the moment I got on that 12-hour flight, I was instantly sick.
Mm,
Like my brain just knew you're going to be here for a long time, so I'm going to make it terrible for you.
yeah.
I was like, great, thanks.
Have you tried like even the strong the prescription um drugs that they give you to try and combat that or not?
I tried on the way back because there's something about flying. So flying to Europe was easier, but flying back from Europe when you're going against the gravity, or sorry, the rotation of the Earth, apparently that does more to you. So flying back, I was really sick. So I tried one of the anti-nausea pills that was meant to make you drowsy and did nothing. Mhm.
It's a
Yeah,
worse feeling because like you want to, you're sick, but there's nothing you do about it.
yeah. And I'm throwing up is my worst fear. Like I cannot stand it. Yeah, I'm terrified of throwing up. And the moment I'm just slightly nauseous, I start panicking and having panic attacks and stuff.
Yeah,
So it's just like terrible.
yeah. I've only thrown up once in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, that was the only time when I drank alcohol because I'm allergic to alcohol. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Um, oh, you can't really see because like I'll show you the pictures after.
Yeah.
When I drink, like my hands, everything peels off.
Wow.
Like I'm being burnt alive. Like peels off. And
That's crazy.
imagine hives that last for like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
every time you sweat, you can feel the pores. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps as we're talking about it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, it's so itchy. Oh, it's the worst. So me and my friends, so my house is here, my friend's house is over there, and then we just went there and we drank. We were in high school. I took like legit like one shot and I was like so drunk. I was like, "Ugh." And then I think we just get to about like 9:30 and mum's like, well, what the fuck? He hasn't come home. So I was just drunk and then my friend's like drunk as well. And then she comes in, bursts through the door, like, what the fuck? Are you drunk? I'm like, no, I'm not. I swear I'm not. Like, I can smell alcohol from it. And it's like, drag me by the hair. It's like, drags me home. As soon as I got home,
Yeah.
it started throwing up. Like, bleh.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that's when I got all the hives and everything, and that's when my skin started peeled off.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a customer. I used to work in a petrol station. I had a customer who told me she had never drunk. She was like in her 90s or something. And she said she was allergic to alcohol. So that was the first time I learned that you could be allergic to alcohol.
yeah. I learned a lot being allergic because like I had to go to doctors and like ask him all these questions, and he said yeah, there's two types of enzymes that break down the alcohol,
Mm.
and I don't have both of them because most people will have both the enzymes or just one, and then they can
Mm.
take this tablet called Zantac to try and combat it. That's why they
Yeah.
call it Asian flush, because they can only break down one part of the alcohol,
Ah,
and then they take the Zantac and that fixes it. But
wow.
I don't have both, so there's nothing I can do. So literally,
Mm.
he said I'm being poisoned alive, and then I go,
Yeah.
what can I do to fix it? He's like, don't drink. I was like, cool.
A lifetime of sobriety.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then like my friends like, oh, you just a little bit, maybe you should drink a little bit over time and they'll fix it. I was like, oh,
Filter tolerance.
yeah, I'll try that. I tried it and I went to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah, not worth it. Not worth it.
But let's get back to you for 1 second.
Yeah.
When you're making and sculpting stuff, do you have like different tools for doing different things?
Yeah, so I have three different types of tools that I use.
I can ask,
Um,
how many tools do you use?
I use three main ones. They
Yeah,
come in packs, but I found three that I much prefer
yeah.
throughout all of them. My tools are disgusting, so fair warning.
What do you mean?
They're very well loved. Like,
No, I think
I'll show you. Like, do you see?
that's not disgusting. That's fine.
That's feral. So this is the one I use mainly. This is my go-to.
Yep,
And this was straight, but I curved it, so
yep,
it's easier to like details and everything.
yep.
And then I have a silicon one, which I use
Okay.
for smoothing out.
Yep.
And then I have which one? So there's this one if you want to do like bigger sort of smooshing things.
Okay.
But then this is the other main one that I use,
Oh,
which is
yep, yep,
just
yep.
it's just slightly bigger than this one.
Yeah. Do you know how I can tell you're like a good um you're good at your trade because
How?
you make your own tools.
Oh yeah, I make it
Because
work for me.
yep, because
Yeah,
I find any tradesman because I work on the roof and stuff and like I make my own tool and then I go to any trade whether it's plumbing or carpentry or whatever or tiling. Everyone has their own little tool they made with their own hands. I was like, oh,
yeah. I think once you do something enough, you know what you need,
mm, yep,
and then you make it
yeah,
because a lot of the time it's not there on the market.
yeah. And then do you sculpt with just like monsters or do you still sculpt like realistic stuff or it's like cartoony stuff?
Um, Primarily monsters. I'm very good at monsters, and I
Yes.
have a lot of fun doing monsters. I'm trying to get more realistic, like better at that. Um, but the thing with humans is that you can have someone sort of look like for example, if I'm sculpting Taylor Swift, I can make it sort of look like Taylor Swift, but there's always just something that I haven't been able to identify yet
Yeah.
that is just a little bit off.
Okay.
Um, and sometimes I can find it within certain sections, like cheeks or chin or something, and
Yeah.
then it looks the cheeks look exactly how I want it to look. It's perfect, but then there's still something off somewhere else,
Yeah.
and this uncanny valley sort of vibes. Right now, I'm trying to do this lady's baby, um, and it definitely looks like a baby, but I don't think it looks like her baby just yet.
Okay. I was gonna ask, can
But
you show
aside
us
from
some of the
that,
work you've done?
mainly, yeah, sure. Okay, this is a baby I'm working on. Don't worry, it doesn't look like anyone's baby, so it's okay. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
see. It's a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah,
does not
cool,
look
cool,
good.
cool.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, I was
This is
watching you
my
doing that earlier today and you baked it, yeah? Dude, that looks
focus.
cool. Wait, is that
Yeah, I'm
painted or
trying to
not
paint it
painted?
now. It's painted. There's a bit more to go on it,
That
but
looks
yeah,
sick.
I still have to do
Yeah,
the eyes.
that's really good. Dude, I wish
And
I could do
then
something like that. That's good.
I don't know what the fuck this is. There's this guy. It's like cute,
Oh,
ugly sort of monster, which I like.
looks like some sort
So
of like
this
an
is
anime.
unbaked.
Yep.
I wanted him to look like he can't breathe,
Okay.
like he has
Yeah.
sinus issues. He's
Yeah,
like
look,
a
I can look at it and be like,
breather, you know? Yeah.
yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
so I'm only getting into like I'm only just starting it now,
Yeah,
but I want to try and make it into something proper.
yeah.
Like
How many years have you
I,
been like sculpting?
on and off, um, like 8 years maybe.
Yeah.
But never consistently. Like I would occasionally make like a zombie head keychain, but for myself. And I
Okay.
think with the with like I tried making it, but back then all you had really was Reddit. And I
Yeah.
sold one zombie head keychain on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then I only charged him like $20 for it, and it's like free posting. And the postage cost more than what I charged for the keychain. So I never did that again.
Yeah.
But I think with the rise of TikTok and how easily accessible people are, I think I could turn it into something
Yeah, we're supposed to be
profitable.
getting this thing called TikTok Shop. Don't know if you heard of it.
I've
Um,
heard Americans talk about it. I've always been like, what the fuck is that?
I watch this stuff all the time. So it's pretty much like live stream like this, but
Yeah.
it's you doing the infomercials right now. Like, oh, come buy this. I've got this. Call right now, and you can get this. Click on that.
Oh,
It's really fun to watch.
really?
Yeah.
That's
It's interesting.
crazy.
But I
We
watch
need to
it.
get
I only
yeah,
watch it to learn. So
okay.
that's why I watch it. But you go ahead.
Mm. We need to get that TikTok marketplace, whatever it is, where people get
Yeah.
paid for their videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Creator
that should be our
funds.
number one priority. Creator funds, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because my
we
friend
need
had a look at
that.
it. Yeah, he had a look at it for me today because he lives in America. He's like,
Mm.
he needs, all he needs is, was it 10,000 followers and what is it, and to become a creator so you get paid, when people watch it. So maybe like,
Views and
let's just
stuff.
say every 1,000 views, you might get like 10 cents.
Hmm.
And then, but it all adds up
Yeah.
because like you get paid from now until like the end of time.
How much videos like you put out and everything? It's all gonna add up a lot more than gifts would and everything.
Yeah, it does. That's why YouTube is good because like, just say like every 100 views you get like 1 cent or whatever, and then you get like
Hmm.
hundreds and hundred millions of views for one video and another video. That's how people make their money. So it's YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, um, last question because we're way like over time, but that's
We
okay.
we rattled on.
I, really have fun doing it. But last question. How should one go about just like, because I got a big forehead, what do you recommend me do?
Fuck you.
It's a legit question.
Okay, so if you have a big
Oh,
forehead,
I have
as
big forehead, so it's
as
fine.
someone who has a
Relax.
big forehead, okay, first thing you want to do is block out your eyebrows. Okay, just put glue on your eyebrows, put a concealer on so they're flat. Or you know what? Just shave them off. Okay. So, and then what you're gonna do after that is you're going to draw your eyebrows higher. So so you draw them
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And then where your eyebrow used to be, you draw a new crease. So then your eyebrows are now up here. And so this is all your forehead here.
I didn't
So
watch
it
the end of
looks
the video,
smaller.
but does it actually work?
No.
It's a
As
good
you can
question.
still see, I have a giant fucking forehead. So no,
I
it does not work.
I'm joining the club. It's all good.
I've been in the club for a long time.
Every
It's
time I play,
hereditary.
every time I play
I
the
made
draw game,
sure, huh?
yes,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Yeah, every time I play draw game because I have to get really close because I'm like blind,
Yeah.
and all you can see is just my forehead.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hyper aware of my forehead all the time,
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah.
And I never used to be until high school. And then my friend was like, "You kind of have a
Oh,
big forehead." I'm like, "Oh,
but you
fuck."
don't, but you don't have a big forehead.
I do.
You
It's
don't, bro. Like,
huge.
no. Look, if we stay still,
Oh.
my one's massive. Mine goes all the way up here.
I got my father's hairline. But see, I
Oh,
made sure my boyfriend, the guy who I have babies with, I made sure he has a small forehead. So my kid will have a fighting chance with good
Liam, yeah, he does.
genetics.
He does.
Yeah, he has a small forehead. Yeah. So
I
our
reckon you
baby
guys.
will have a nice small forehead.
Yeah, no, I reckon you guys are good together. Are you guys gonna do
Yeah.
anything for Halloween next week? I think next weekend, or this weekend, or something.
Is it? Oh, no. We'll
Yeah, I
probably
think
go walk because
it's the
he has
20th.
younger siblings. Oh, is it? Far out.
Time
So we'll
flies.
probably go house to house with his siblings. But
Oh,
mm,
you go. Sorry.
mm,
I reckon like the week leading up to it, are you gonna do something like sculpting to do with Halloween?
Halloween. I want to. I really started this way too late because I really could have been building up towards Halloween with monsters and
It's okay. What are you
everything.
talking about?
I might make like a scary monster pumpkin. That might be fun.
Hmm.
But I really want to do something from Silent Hill because we're playing that right now.
Oh,
Like
I
maybe the
think yeah.
nurses.
I think you sent me a few snaps that you playing that.
Yeah. Liam has to play it because I'm
Oh,
scared.
you're too scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays all the scary games. I just watch them.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I have to show you how to do this this thing where you go on TikTok and then like it comes up with like on the side of this screen.
Yeah.
Almost, it looks almost like the one they do in America, like the TikTok shop thing, and then on top it has like sponsored by whatever, and then on here you can have like all the little information and stuff. It looks really cool.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Show me
Um,
that when you can.
apart from that, yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to me because
Thanks.
I was really interested, and I still am, of your sculpting and everything. I think you have a really unique skill. I'm gonna try
Thank you.
and replicate it because I
Yeah, show me your sculpture.
the first one I did was it's in the bin now,
Yeah.
but I will get it, and then I'm gonna do it on live stream, just like you
Okay,
do.
cool.
But I want to make it and talk, and then see what it comes out looking like.
That'll be cool.
But yeah,
I want to see your sculpture. Maybe we'll
yeah.
do this again in like a couple months when I have like a larger repertoire of monsters that I can show you.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More of a collection.
yeah. But thanks for
Yeah.
talking to me. Thanks heaps, and
It's okay.
I'll send you everything else after.
Okay. All
Thanks.
right,
Bye. Have a good
thanks.
night.
Bye,
See ya.
mommy. Bye.
Bye.